Well, yeah, I remember kind of the whole Chyna package, and mostly, of course, the WrestleMania event.
Did you just say Chyna package?
Chyna package.
On purpose?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Oh, that's gross.
No, I'm saying.
That's the good catch, though.
Give you credit for comedy.
No,
Go
we
ahead.
don't want to think about the Chyna package. The piece, no better.
Keep going.
You know, the whole storyline. How about that?
Thing won't work either.
No.
Storyline. Go ahead. Thank you.
Storyline. That was it was the first storyline really that I had been involved in that had a stretch. That actually had a lead up to a big pay-per-view match. WrestleMania of all pay-per-views. Pretty cool. Astrodome. Well, how many people? 69,000 people or something like that?
I'll be able to tell you in about 5 minutes.
Unbelievable. It was
probably.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really fun, yeah. It was great to be part of Right to Censor. Because we had when Stephanie McMahon asked me, do I want to do this part, play this lady, be part of the group. And I said, heck yeah, man, just give me something I can sink my teeth into. So it was really good to have an evil part that had, participants, and we had an angle, and we had people to go after, and it was really wonderful.
What about Chyna, working with her?
Chyna was one of those insecure people. She was mean. And it was so frustrating because she was such a one of a kind, and it even frustrates me to this day that, her life kind of took the turn that it did, because she's this wonderful, feeling human being that is one of a kind. She has so much to offer. She's so talented, and just found her niche in that she could give all that talent and have that look. It's like Elvis being a rock star. I mean, he wouldn't be, Elvis Presley if he decided to be a baker or a caterer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So she was in the right spot at the right time with all the right stuff around her, and yet she wasn't very embracing towards the other talent in the locker room, female talent,
right.
Because I guess we just didn't do much for her,
So she wasn't popular
So,
with the other ladies, I take it?
I think she was popular politically. I mean, none of us really were going to have an angle with her because she did, wrestled with all the guys and stuff. But it wasn't real. I just feel like there should be a sisterhood, and there always has been with female wrestlers, in that you are part of a guy's product.
Well, is it a boys' club
And
still?
it's totally a boys' club. Right. So we need each other on the road. We need. It's great to hang with the guys and stuff, but we are, we're the midgets on the card. We're the other part of wrestling,
right.
The variety part of the variety show.
But maybe not so much then.
So,
we're starting to see the athleticism, and women were
well,
really
still,
working.
Though, you're still girls, and you're on the road with these guys. And back then, we were on the road for 10 days straight. We come home for like 2 days and go out for another 10. So it was a long road, and there wasn't, a whole bunch of us. There was probably 6 girls
right.
at any given time.
But unlike in the past with women wrestlers, now you've got merch, you've got dolls, you've got the posters now, right? I mean, I didn't have a Lillian Ellison poster in my room when I was 15.
Yeah.
But now the women wrestlers look a certain way, they perform a certain way to be emulated.
Well, they should have done that in the past. Geez Louise. Yeah. You would. You're a cunning entrepreneur man.
Right.
So it's, basically just taking every part of your show and making money off of it.
Right.
So why wouldn't you package the midgets and the women and just like the guys?
Right. Agreed.
So anyway, Chyna was, you're, like I said before, being part of the roster and caring about what you do to be part of the show. In other words, you want your performance to be really really good and up to par with all the great stars, like, Boss Man, and geez, everybody was so hot, Stone Cold, and Triple H was so good at being, the antithesis to the higher up guys like Rock and Stone Cold. Everybody was just so on the mark that it was just incredible to be there. So, you watch people's performances, and in my opinion, Chyna was, I would just die to have a spot where I wrestled guys every night, because the guys have had 10 or 15 years more practice and experience under their belts than any female on the roster. So in wrestling, it's your job in the ring to make the other guy look better than they are. So here, Chyna got to step into those boots. So therefore, if she was in the ring with guys that were way more seasoned than her, she never really had to be all that good at what she did. And she wasn't. She never rose to the occasion. She didn't sell for the guys. She had this primo spot that could have been, just so hot. Women could have really cared even more about her character if she fell down a little harder, if she sold a little more.
That's a good point, though, her not selling for the boys. Was that her device, or was that something that, when a woman sells after being hit by a guy, that's kind of, that automatically heals that guy out? He hurt a woman. Or was that her just not wanting to give?
I think it was her not wanting to give.
Okay.
Because she was that way throughout the whole, whether she was a good guy or a bad guy.
Okay.
So I just think it was kind of, and maybe it was misdirection. I don't know. I never was, the fly on the wall with any direction being given to her character.
Okay.
But as a audience member, are you trying to get a breath in now?
No, I'm not going to
Trying
try
to
that
ask
with
me
you
another question?
anymore.
So trying to pull the most out of the audience, I think it would have been much better if she's had a human side, a female side. And I know she's the ninth wonder of the world, but, it would have been great if she would have really sold how strong Val Venus is, or whoever. Kurt Angle's one of those guys that when he came on board, I was thinking, oh, right, man, this is like a real athlete, and he's really a good guy, and, I thought, wow, he's going to be good to the ladies, his girlfriend, all that good stuff, and he was for a long time. And then, he just turned out to be another wrestler. So now, on the other hand, though, I thought, gee, this guy is going to, this business is going to eat him up. It's going to hurt him. Because if you look at his history of being an Olympic champion with a broken neck, imagine, he has that drive and that ambition to be, and determination to be really great at what he does. And unfortunately, you don't get like reciprocation in the wrestling world. If I work this hard, then I get this reward, or I get this spot, or I get this opportunity, or I get a new challenge that I can rise to. They just kind of want to see how hard you'll work, and they'll just keep letting you work that hard, even if it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like there's, I asked Bob Holly once on a car ride, I said, hey, in your opinion, you were a football player and stuff, was football harder than wrestling, in your opinion? And he said, football was way easier because if you worked hard, you got that next, you got more time on the field. You got statistics that then mattered to the next round or, draft or whatever it was. But in wrestling, it's just this hanging carrot all the time. So you can give, and you can work out, and you can do whatever it takes to spend the time and the money and the, physical pain to rise above and show off. And every time you go out in a match, it's an audition all over again. You never really have a spot. You're always auditioning for the next round of TV or the next storyline, or, and then there's politics behind that. So you're not only a talent in the ring, but you have to be a craftsman politically outside of that.
Ultimately, it's always up to somebody with a clipboard.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. Yeah.
And the people with the clipboards got to be worse and worse and worse. Not cunning worse, that I can stand, but just it was kind of like our company went corporate. And there was these little positions and jobs, like writers, when the writers became the writers, and they were these we're watching these kids come in and out, and you're going, how long is that one going to last, And we're waiting for really good, steamy storylines, and we're talking about a writer that's never been kissed or on a hot date to write them, what do they get about life? So it was really frustrating. I didn't think it was all that super offensive, but she really felt bad about it.
What do you do when he?
Because I don't think that, how is that much different from, a lot of it was just kind of another stupid storyline. It was just kind of, I don't know. I just always feel like as a performer, you're always, the best parts are doing something that creates, a stretch in your abilities.
So so nobody was offended by this, other than Trish, maybe.
Trish was offended, and there was a lot of talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess she felt like it was okay because she was going to get her just desserts in the end. But didn't that kind of? I mean, there was ass kissing after that. I mean, what's the difference between getting your face smushed by Rikishi's crack? And all of us are backstage going, "Oh, I want to do it!" I mean, come on. Everything is distorted in wrestling. If you live the life for long enough, you have there's all your circuitry is a little bit mashed into a different plan.